Hey, welcome everyone to the first live stream of the evening here. It is Wednesday, June 28th, 2017, and we are watching a complex of storms move through uh, southern Wisconsin, and with it, the threat of tornadoes. And we got our first tornado warning of the evening. Let me just double check that the audio is working on this, you guys. So give me one moment. Alright, there we go. That seems to be working. Alright, so let's go over what we have so far. We have one tornado warning right near Fenimore in the Lancaster area. As you can see here, a complex of showers and thunderstorms extending from Iowa all the way through Grant, Iowa, Dane County, places like the Forest, Sun Prairie, Mazomanie, Muscadet, Boscobel, all seeing heavy rain, but just south of Boscobel in Fenimore, between Fenimore and Lancaster, we have a tornado warning that just got issued. And let's just go over the details of that real quick. First of all, just radar indicated, not observed. Any tornado threat this evening is most likely not going to be observed. It's going to be rain wrapped, which makes it even more particularly dangerous and needs to pay attention to. So once again, this is radar indicated. Possible places in the path of this storm include, and let's zoom in, Munford, Livingston, Highland, Cobb, Fenimore. This is actually a relatively large rotation, and we will go and switch over to the velocity scan. Give me 1 second here. So here's the velocity scan. You can see here a very large rotation. And you know what? It might not even be a rotation. If you guys understand what the velocity... Well, okay. As I put this in motion now, actually you can tell there is a very broad location. Let me just circle what our area concern is right now. It is this that's kind of tracking a little bit south. And I try to do my best to draw a straight line there, but it is kind of that area. So just south of Fenimore, that is our area of biggest concern. So if I stop the animation here and just circle where the trouble spot is, it would be right there, and it's heading almost due east, a little bit south. So if I had to guess, the biggest concern would be and of course everyone wants to text me trying to figure out what's going on. Alright, like I said, the biggest concern right now is just south of Fenimore, and this area is very broad rotation, no confirmed tornadoes. I would be surprised even if there was a tornado, we would get any confirmation, because this is most likely rain wrapped. And if we go back to not looking at the velocity, but the reflectivity, which shows how intense it is raining, this also makes sense, and you'll have to apologize as I'm getting a million text messages. When we're looking at reflectivity, which just shows how hard it is raining, or it also maybe possibly how much it's hailing, one of the things that we look for, especially when we have a larger complex like we do right now, is a little bit of a notch. And what I was just pointing out was on the velocity scan that just south of Fenimore seemed like the most at risk. If you look at the reflectivity, and I'm just going to center this real quick and draw that notch is right there. And sometimes that's an indication of broad rotation as the storm rotates counterclockwise. It starts to actually bring in air in that kind of counterclockwise rotation, and when it starts to get more intense, that rotation gets more intense, you start to almost get this notch effect, which I have kind of indicated here. So if we look back at the velocity real quick, you can see once again, and if I put this in motion, yeah, this is very much a broad rotation. Nothing that's overly concerning. The last couple of frames, I will admit, looks like maybe a little bit of a tightening. And what do I mean by that? When we stop here, we want to see when there's a stronger rotation, the reds and the greens get more intense, they get closer together, and yeah, this is also a little bit of a complex picture we're seeing here, because a little bit of it too is how the radar is positioned. We're looking out of La Crosse, which is actually way to the left in the top of the screen here, and the winds that are feeding into the storm are probably the greens, and the winds that are or going into the storm are the green. The coming out of the storms are the reds. And where the radar location is kind of in a bad spot for this storm overall. But this radar is picking this out a little bit better than the Milwaukee one is. But the area of concern, once again, is right here, just south of Fenimore. And if we put it in motion, you can kind of see why, as the red and greens, as they cross Prairie du Chien, just north of Mount Hope, and as Fenimore, you can kind of see there's just that broad rotation. Yep. And not seeing any reports right now. Nothing of too much concern. Let's go ahead and just kind of get a broader view of the area. Keeping an eye on this. I'm just double checking the see if there's any reports of anything. Nothing yet. And if I can stop this and broaden out. And let's go back to the reflectivity, which shows the intensity of such rain showers and thunderstorms. The main area of concern is this whole line of thunderstorms going through southern Wisconsin. And if we put that in motion, alright, you can see lots of information. It's hard to do this as one person. If we put this in motion, you can kind of see there's a line of showers and thunderstorms that have been moving across Iowa and now entering Wisconsin. There is a tornado watch in effect for this evening for most of southern Wisconsin. Does not include the Madison metropolitan area. And I think a good kind of what we're concerned about, you can actually see here in the reflectivity, because you can kind of see the general motion of the storms is left to right, or otherwise west to east, but you kind of have this inflow of these thunderstorms here, and you can kind of tell there's just two air masses that are kind of meeting up here, and you get any sort of rotation in the atmosphere, and that can cause trouble. So obviously we've been kind of watching. If I go back to the reflectivity ones, or the velocity real quick, velocity, which is the indication of speed measured by the radar, in this case out in La Crosse, you can kind of see that storm system as it moved from Prairie du Chien, now just south of Fenimore, kind of had this, you can almost even see it as it like moves, the reds and the greens kind of dancing between each other, and that's an indication of possibly of broad rotation at least. Nothing here looks anything more than broad rotation, which does not equate to a tornado. Also, no reports of anything. Just double checking. Yep, no reports. And we're not getting that strong couplet, which a couplet in this indication means the strong reds and greens being really close to each other, and returning high values. Actually, we can measure what the velocity is according to the radar of the wind speeds. as we get closer. I can stop that real quick. So if we zoom back into that area, I mean, also another thing you gotta realize, the radar beam this far out from La Crosse is also pretty high up in the atmosphere, but 76 mile or 71 mile per hour winds, at least higher up in the atmosphere, and 30, 40 going in the opposite direction. So there's definitely a lot of energy there, something that definitely has to set up to the potential to be more. And actually this last frame, as we zoom in here, this last frame is a little more concerning. And here is where I think the where the bullseye is, right here. This is where I would be concerned, because this looks like a little bit of a tighter, and this is what we mean by the couplet. Do we have the reds and greens? You can see right over here to the left, 64 miles per hour, and to the right, nothing too exciting, but the closeness of the reds and the greens here, which we call a couplet on the radar, that is what is concerning. So if I were to suspect where the biggest, the highest probability of a tornado, it's right in here, just south and east of Fenimore, and it's kind of heading in this direction. As we got new radar paint. Once again, let's see if we can erase that. Come on. So this is where I'd be most concerned of a possible tornado, and it's been kind of going in this direction. And if we zoom out, okay, can I zoom out without redrawing? Nope. Okay. Let's redraw that real quick. This is kind of the path it's taking, so just south of Montford, Cobb, just north of Livingston, Leiden, kind of that area. That is the area of biggest concern. And this is where I would be most concerned for the potential of a tornado. Once again, I'm not seeing anything that would tell me that there is a tornado. And let me... I have other radar products that I can look at too, and that's just, yeah, that's not exciting. Okay, let's go back to that. Yeah, let's go back to reflectivity real quick. The other thing about this storm system right now as it stands, as we go back to the reflectivity, which is just an indication of how heavy it may be raining. Earlier I was putting this in motion, and I was kind of pointing out the fact that there were storms from the south and west that were kind of feeding into this complex of line of thunderstorms. So it is also very possible that this storm system that's now passing through Fenimore, just to the flash flood warning, that's just passing east of Fenimore is also might get cut off by the line of showers and thunderstorms that's south of Mineral Point, which could also kind of kill the inflow to that storm, which makes the atmosphere a lot more messier and harder to produce a tornado. So that is good news for that, but certainly area of concern. I'm seeing some storm reports, but it's very possible that that's for some other storms. Yeah. We're just gonna zoom out for just a second. This is also not the only area of concern throughout the evening, as you can kind of see through much of the Midwest, where the line of showers and thunderstorms extending from Beaver Dam all the way through Des Moines and north of Kansas City. And actually we can go to the satellite, where you can see the showers and thunderstorms developing over Iowa, now into Wisconsin. And also we've been watching some showers and thunderstorms through the northern La Crosse region. If I go back to the radar, where we've had actually reports of tornadoes throughout the evening. And you can just kind of see these showers and thunderstorms south of Eau Claire, north of Winona, kind of through the Trumpelow County region. Um, yeah, we've had some reports of tornadoes in that storm system as that continues to move. Oops. Yeah, as that continues to move kind of in a east-southeasterly direction, which is certainly, if you live in those areas, that is worth keeping an eye on. But no tornado warnings from the National Weather Service. We've had a couple of reports of tornadoes up in that region. Not sure how viable those reports are. The only tornado warning, once again, is through southern Wisconsin for Grant County. We'll see if it gets extended into Iowa County as the storm continues to push to the east. Let's go over to the Milwaukee radar over here. Yeah, the Milwaukee radar not showing anything too exciting compared to the La Crosse radar, which sometimes it's just a matter of perspective, like anything else. Yeah. Just checking, making sure. Oh, some nice structure with the storms that are hiding in this region, getting some interesting pictures, but nothing more than just some good thunderstorm structure. I mean, these storms are definitely in a rich environment for the possibility of damaging hail, straight line winds, and of course that small tornado risk. And now I've just switched back to the La Crosse radar where it's a little bit of a better perspective on the storm. Let's highlight again the region where we're most concerned and areas that should be keeping an eye out. So just in this region here, as this storm system kind of moves in a east southeasterly direction. So Leiden, you're kind of in the path of the storm. Dodgeville, Mineral Point, and if this would continue, the southern part of Dane County, we're gonna see if they allow this tornado warning to continue. I suspect they won't, just because of this line of showers and thunderstorms that are kind of pushing north, feeding into the system. Wow, that's a bad. Come on. Anyway, and if I put this in motion and go back to the reflectivity. Yeah. But there's definitely, you can, especially when it got from Prairie du Chien to Fenimore, definitely looked like there was some rotation. You can even see it in the colors with the reflectivity, which is only an indication of how heavily it's raining. But of course, if the whole storm system is rotating, which these storm systems actually tend to do quite easily, it's the tighter circulations that are harder to do, which of course are the tornadoes usually. Not necessarily, but yeah. So once again, keeping an eye on this, just reading over the tornado warning text, nothing exciting, still radar indicated, no reports of anything. Seeing some nice structure on some of these storms, seeing some pictures. Could try to get that up here. Yeah, let's see. Is this gonna do it for me? Oh, close. All right. Well, this is a storm that we were just talking about from my friend Hunter Anderson. You can see his Twitter tag at the bottom there. Just some very nice structure to the storm system, kind of looking from the south and west, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, nothing nothing too concerning. There's no general structure at the nothing here, but you can just see the overall structure. It looks very nice, but nothing down below where I'd be most concerned. How long does this tornado warning go into effect or into effect? Would help if I. So 11 more minutes on this tornado warning. We do got severe thunderstorm warnings for the rest of the cell system. No surprise there. That storm system we were looking at earlier up in northern Wisconsin. Still no tornado warning. The environment that these storms are in, and just trying to get the latest data here, make sure I'm not missing anything. Nope. Alright. Let's just go look at the environment that these system is in. Here I have a look at helicity, correct? Which is just the measurement of rotation or possible rotation in the atmosphere. And I think the units on that are meters squared per second squared. So just kind of like what the possible storm motion in these are. And you can kind of see there are high values across southern Wisconsin, which is why we've been kind of on the outlook for tornadoes. Also, not the best energy. Here we have CAPE, which is the available potential energy for these storm systems to tap into. Pretty high values across Iowa, but as it gets into southern Wisconsin, here this is Madison where my pointer is. Not the best values in the world, but then again, yeah, the storms have developed, so there's not a question of whether or not they're going to develop. Dew points. This is kind of a messy map, but the greens indicate dew points above 68 degrees, so definitely plenty of moisture for these storms to tap into and continue across the region. You can go back through to the radar. We are watching as these storms continue to move to the east, and I'm gonna switch over radars real quick. So we got severe thunderstorm warnings for Grant, Iowa, Lafayette. Nothing for Dane, although Sun Prairie, northern Madison, Mazomanie certainly have had a fair amount of rain. Flash flooding might be a possibility through some of these regions. They've already seen a little bit of rain today, especially Sun Prairie and points where my cursor are could see heavy rain as these storm systems kind of train. And if I could put this in motion. Yeah. So you can kind of see the storms from Mazomanie to Sun Prairie have been training a little bit, and will continue to for a little while as there's still more rain out from Boscobel. So certainly something to keep an eye on. Also, sometimes we have to keep an eye on when we have two storm systems that meet up, especially what I was talking about earlier, where we have that guy and this guy. Wow, that was a horrible arrow. Those are always areas of concerns, but I'm not seeing anything that's making me concerned right now. Certainly nothing on the velocity. And that's not coming up because I did not select it properly. This is now looking at the radar in Milwaukee, and there is nothing too concerning And it's hard for the radar in Milwaukee to get kind of in the Fenimore Lancaster area where the tornado warning is. As it kind of moves east of that tornado warning, the Milwaukee radar gets better at picking up um, the winds. And you got to remember that the radar kind of shoots up into the atmosphere the farther it's out from the radar site, so you're actually seeing much higher into the atmosphere in these locations. Getting just our first storm reports. Fenimore police confirmed trees down, power outages throughout the area. Not surprising, especially with the possibility of that tornado. Although we haven't gotten any confirmation of a tornado, but definitely strong winds. And that will be the primary threat throughout the evening, along with the possibility of some hail. Let's see if we can't click on some of these markers. That's the severe thunderstorm warning. Come on. So hail, maybe up to 1.25 inches. Just south of Mineral Point in Dodgeville. And yeah, so that's something to keep an eye on. Some stronger winds maybe by Dane, north of Prairie du Sac. That's also something to keep an eye on. Let's go back to reflectivity real quick. Yeah, nothing that's standing out right now, so I would not be surprised if they let that tornado warning expire. And that tornado warning, yep, expires in 5 minutes. So I am actually probably gonna let it go here because I would suspect that if there was gonna be a new tornado warning, they would have already issued it. But I will be here all evening, and if there's more tornado warnings that get issued for our region, I will definitely be streaming. So thanks guys for watching and paying attention. I think for the most part our threat for tornadic activity will remain throughout the evening, but the immediate threat is I think it's pretty much gone. So we still technically got the tornado warning for Grant County, but it looks like it's going to be allowed to expire here and just be a severe thunderstorm warning with the possibility of high winds, damaging hail, and we'll have to continue to keep our eye to see if anything develops tornado-wise. Tornado watch in effect until 10 p.m. tonight for all, well, most of southern Wisconsin except for the shoreline counties, and I suspect that that will continue. The other possibility is keeping an eye out for heavy rains and the possibility of flash flooding, especially through northern Dane County, now into Lafayette and Iowa County. That's also the possibility. So thanks guys for watching. Like I said, if we have the possibility of more severe weather, I will definitely come back and stream. See you guys.